Oh, hi, Isabella. Hello,
Hi.
I will just introduce you quickly then, because are you okay to start?
Yes.
Thank you. And then we'll figure out what afterwards. Okay, so I'll just introduce everyone now. Hello, there you are. So this is Isabella Young, and she's founder of Feeling Better Naturally, and she's all about truth, love, freedom, right action, kindness, unity, and well-being. And the bit I love on her website as well that I checked out as well is this statement. See what you feel about this. Love yourself, seek truth and freedom, practice kindness, gratitude and oneness, spend time in nature, study natural law, know your rights, protect your sovereignty and your humanity, act courageously, make a contribution to the highest good of all, enjoy life. And I love all of that. And my connection to you, Isabella, as well, is again very recently. And I saw a video of yours, and straight away I just felt your energy, your wisdom, everything just shone through. And I just thought it was an amazing thing for you to come on and share some of this. So today, Isabella's going to share with us her wisdom on optimizing our health. What a massive topic. Increasing our personal power to establish sovereignty and co-create new earth with the highest frequencies of light and love. So very much needed right now. So welcome. So good to have you here.
Thank you, Marie. Thank you for the opportunity to share some information that I have, and thank you for following your intuition and putting this event on, because that's really one of our best tools that we have is our intuition at this time, because that's what's going to lead us to where we need to go, what we need to do, and how we need to show up at this time. So really appreciate that you listened.
Yes, it's the battle. Sometimes you hear it and you don't always follow it. So yeah, this one I followed. So it's my pleasure. So I'll mute myself so you just are on the screen and we can record you. So yeah, take it away. I'm really interested to hear all of what you have to share. So I'm going to be quiet now.
Do I make myself bigger?
No, you're fine.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, this is fine. You'll come up on the screen when we record, so it's fine. Okay.
Thank you. So where I'm coming from is that we're in war here. This is wartime, and we need to be prepared for war. We need to be prepared for the battle that we're in, and we need to be at the same time co-creating new earths with the highest vibrations of love and light. And how we do that is by empowering ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, sexually, financially, and communally. So start with self first. And the best tools that I've found for self-empowerment are meditation, which doesn't always have to be sitting with your eyes closed. Meditation is simply coming into the present moment and being more of an observer. So that can be done by walking, by being in nature, by sun gazing, stargazing, cloud watching, dancing, singing, playing music, listening to music. So there are lots of ways to come into the present moment. That it's really important practice that we're in that place and not be worried about the future and not be caught up in the past, to just be present, so that we are available to be of service. The other, as Amanda just mentioned, astrology is an essential tool. It's an essential tool it's been, like you said before, it's been trivialized and just given a couple of lines in the newspaper. It's this essential science that we all should be learning in schools, because that's how we know who we are, we know why we're here, we know our strengths and our weaknesses, and we can also understand what's happening in the world around us. And that's how we empower ourselves, so we know when to move and when to stay. For instance, I know I have Mercury combust, so I have problems with communication, and so today is perfect. It's Wednesday, and it's the day to go out and do something to improve my communication. So when you understand your astrology more, then you can really, really be living from a very empowered place. And the other tool of empowerment, which we just talked about, is intuition. And intuition's just like a muscle. So when you get the promptings, when you get the gut feelings, or the vision, or the heart pull, or the the sign from nature, or you overhear a conversation, trust that. And even if it goes to, if it doesn't work out, you've still trusted your intuition, and that's how it builds. And at the moment, like I said before, that's what's going to really lead us to where we need to be and who we need to be. The other tools are shadow work and any type of energy work, like the quantum healing tools. All those sorts of practices are really useful at this time for self-knowledge. And the other practice that I use is gratitude. To be in gratitude for whatever's happening, even if it doesn't look good or feel good, but trust that everything is happening for our highest good. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And this is a time to celebrate. Even though it looks like shit out there, this is what we wanted. This is what we're praying for. Because the truth is, humanity has been enslaved in the satanic blood cult for a long time. It's only now that more people are realizing this. And now that there's more light here, what has been hidden in the shadows is visible, and we're breaking free. We are breaking free of the old paradigm of fear and control and moving into the new paradigm of love and freedom. So gratitude. Gratitude is like the oil for the wheel of grace. So the more gratitude that we practice, then the more grace flows in our lives, the more blessings, the more ease, the more health, the more beauty. So gratitude is an essential practice, and the other practice that I use is aligning my free will with divine will, so that then I become aligned with the divine. And how I do that is I simply continue that intention. I make that my mantra, that I'm aligning my free will with divine will, and then following guidance and following intuition, so that I am hopefully serving divine will. And then one of the other parts of empowering self is to call upon what I'm going to call our team on the other side. So strengthen relationship with God, higher self, angels, ascended masters, animal spirit beings, crossed over loved ones, and ancestors. Because remember, we are the culmination of every single life that our ancestors have lived. We're the culmination of their heartfelt desires, their longings. This life we're living is that culmination now. So they're waiting to help us, because their evolution is our evolution. We're inextricably connected. So call upon them for strength, for guidance, for wisdom, for direction. I have an ancestor altar, and I invoke them all the time. I call upon them, and I feel them sourcing me. I can feel their presence in my life. And the other thing to remember too is, this is the really exciting part, is that remember that the attention of the cosmos, of all beings of love and light, is focused on Earth now. We're ground zero for transformation throughout the cosmos. So all those beings, all those social memory complexes, all those galaxies, they're here for us now. They are sending love and light, and we can receive that. We can invoke that. We can be sourced by that. So just to remember, call upon the beings of love and light they're waiting and they're wanting to help us, because, like I said, our evolution is their evolution. It's one. It's oneness. The next part is strengthening the physical body, because as spiritual beings, we have this physical body, and that is our temple. That's our vessel, and it needs to be strong, and we need to have integrity. And how we do that is to be connected to the earth, directly connected to the earth, skin to earth. Human beings have been weakened from before birth, but one of the main ways that we're weakened is by being disconnected from nature. when the rubber-soled shoes were introduced in the 60s, that's when some of the chronic illnesses started to appear, like diabetes, because we actually have to be connected to the earth. Our ancestors didn't walk around barefoot because they didn't have a fashion sense. It's because they had common sense. The earth is vital life force energy, and without that, we can't be optimally healthy. We can't physically or mentally, and we're weak. We're weak because think of it like a battery. The earth's like battery energy that fills us up when we are connected to it. Bare feet on the earth, lie on the earth, touch trees, touch rocks, crystals, outdoor pets, other grounded people. That in that way we get that vital life force energy into our bodies. We also need to be able to receive the positive electrons from the earth. And the other thing the earth does for us is balance us electromagnetically, because we're also electromagnetic beings. And we live in this chaotic sea of electromagnetic pollution and toxicity. And there's no way the body can rebalance itself, because our system is very subtle and it's just thrown into chaos by all the devices and EMFs and 5G and shit like that that's around. So being connected with the earth allows the body to come into balance and be able to function optimally. So it comes into balance like electromagnetically, physiologically, biologically, all that. It's just essential. It's not even it's just as essential as drinking water to be connected to skin with the earth every day. And then even bigger than that, it's essential that we're in nature, at least getting outside and into nature every day. Backyards, front yards, parks, rivers, lakes, wilderness, wherever. Just go outside and receive, because as I was saying before, there is more light here now. The earth has a different and a higher frequency, and all we need to do is go out and receive it. And so by being in nature, just simply being, take a book, go outside and read it, just take a picnic. Don't really have to do anything other than just being open to receive. And we will receive what we need to receive. And it's essential, going outside and being in nature. The other part of being in nature is to receive sunlight. If you think about how deprived everybody has been of sunlight, it's criminal. It's just a crime. If a plant had to go through what any human had to go through since this bullshit started, it'd be dead already. So that's just testimony to the resilience of the human body and the resilience of the human spirit. They were actually here now, shining brightly, with the forces of evil bearing down on us. We're still standing strong. And sunlight is one of the most fortifying things that are available to us right now. Sunlight is the highest form of energy that we can receive while we're in human form. So that means getting sunlight on the skin at least 15 to 20 minutes every day. Don't get burnt. Don't be, just be sensible about it, of course. No sunscreen. Sunscreens are very damaging, but we do need to receive sunlight on our skin. If you think about it, we're photonic beings like plants. We need to metabolize sunlight in order to stay healthy. So we hear about, we need sunlight to get vitamin D. Well, vitamin D is not really a vitamin. It's actually the precursor for a whole lot of other hormones that then allow the body to function normally. So it's an essential thing to get sunlight on the skin every day. And then even more powerful than that is to receive sunlight into the eyes through sun gazing. Sun gazing is the most transformative and free and easy thing that you can do. Simply go out before the sun comes up, stand or sit facing east, bare feet on the ground, and just as the sun rises, look through gentle gaze and watch the sun as it comes up. Don't do it past where it's painful. Start with just a few seconds, build up 10 seconds, 20 seconds. all you have to do is just be open and receptive. And then when the practice is finished, give thanks. And then if you can do it again at the end of the day, when the sun's going down, even better. And there are other times where you could, when the sun may be a little bit high, but through clouds or whatever, just receive sunlight through your eyes and your life will be transformed. Sunlight, this is some of the things that sunlight's going to do. It's going to awaken the DNA, the junk DNA. It's bullshit. It's not junk. It'll awaken the DNA. It will dissolve the illusions of earthly life and the limitations that have been put into our heads about what this world is and what we can and can't do. Eradicate them. It will heal at the deepest level, heal the body at the deepest level, and it'll awaken us from the dream spell. You mentioned that before. That's something that sunlight can do. It will optimize mental health, physical health, spiritual health. When you form the relationship with the sun, life changes. And the thing to remember about like being out and being in nature and appreciating what's in nature, that where attention goes, energy flows, right? And that's a two-way thing. So when you're sun gazing, the sun is receiving, you're receiving the sunlight, all the energy of the sun into your body. And I just imagine that every cell of my body is shining like 1 billion suns. So when I'm looking at the sun, that's every cell of my body. And that's one way to bring more photonic light into my body and increase my vibration, because really it's just as much of a frequency war as anything else, and that's our best protection. That's our best protection against bioweaponry and against the bullshit, is really just to have continually increasing our frequency. I just remembered something else. I just want to mention about grounding and being connected to earth energy. And another important thing to be able to do is walk around barefoot on the ground, because that's, if you think about it, we have as many nerve endings on our feet as we do on our hands. And so by walking around with shoes on, we're really we're missing out on life, and we're just like walking through life without really feeling our way through, without really taking notice of where we're looking. And it's very metaphorical as well as physical, but it's important to be able to feel our way through life. And then with the feet activated, it also activates more of our brain, of course, because, you know, it's all wired. So we're walking around bare feet, more of our brain is going to be activated. So we become more fully human rather than wearing shoes all the time. So in addition to the grounding, even if you can walk around bare feet on the grass, on the beach is ideal, and concrete is conductive, and so are bricks. So, you know, you can walk on those to get some grounding, but better to be directly connected with the earth. So what to say. And then in terms of strengthening the body, it's essential to be eating high vibrational foods, living foods, natural foods, as close as possible to what they were when they grew. When we take anything into our body that's been processed, highly processed, or like pharmaceutical drugs or any of that stuff, it's unnatural. And the body immediately goes into a defensive mode, which means it becomes inflamed and has to put a whole lot of energy into getting rid of the foreign matter. So if we don't tax our body with unnatural substances and toxins and poisons that come from makeup and deodorants and cleaning products and laundry detergents, when we don't bombard our body with all these unnatural products, the body maintains integrity, maintains immunity, and allows us to stand against the forces of evil, because we do need to be as strong as we can be. So living foods, if you can grow anything to eat, you are growing your own medicine. So because plants have consciousness, and they will grow, if we ask them, they will grow medicine that's specific for our bodies. So if you can sprout some sprouts, grow some herbs, grow some spinach or kale or whatever, even, you know, make your own kombucha, whatever it is that you are doing is going to make the medicine for you. So fruits and vegetables. The highest foods in photonic light are tropical fruits and vegetables, but if you're not there, then they've come a long way and they probably don't have that same light in them. So find the freshest source, organic of course, or biodynamic. It's really important to have, like I said, fresh, natural, living foods. Fruits, nuts, fungi, seaweeds, nuts and seeds oils, some grains, but just keep it really simple and clean and pure. And the same with the water too. Don't be drinking tap water, that's poison. And same with bottled water, they're poisonous. They put heavy metals and real bad crap in that's going to affect brain health and physical health. So find the purest supply of water that you can and only drink that. And it's best to cook with that and even grow plants with that too. But especially to be hydrating with the purest water that you can access. And if you bless the water, pray over it, and structure it, which you can do just by creating a vortex in it, you can bring the water to its highest level to optimize health. And the same with food too. If you be blessing and praying from seed to table. And when you're cooking or preparing food, you can be blessing it during that process. And especially before you eat it, always express gratitude. And in that way, we're optimizing our health.
I was going to say with the water, that's something I changed recently. Well, we sort of did it in the last few months. Like we just stopped doing, because we did, obviously tap water is really rubbish, I think wherever you are, right? So we were doing like the filtered water, and then I found out, I didn't realise, but the filtered water it was still not taking out all of the crap in there. So we got a distiller, and we've noticed the difference in like the headaches, like just not getting headaches every day, every second day.
Yeah.
Such a difference just from that, just from the distilled water. It's incredible.
Yeah, one of the best investments that anyone could make with their own place would be to invest in a water filter, a whole house water filter. It really is necessary to take out, because that's one way they poison us is through the water supply. So we have to find alternatives. And there's another plant that I really want to mention here, and that's cannabis. We have more endocannabinoid receptors in our body, throughout our body, than any other type of receptor. We're wired for this medicine. And when we receive the cannabinoids from the plant, they meet up with the receptors and create the internet. Oh my gosh. Hope that's not going to be too noisy. I've just started. Is that too noisy, Marie?
Oh, I can't hear anything.
Oh, great. So anyway, back to cannabis. It's an essential daily medicine because it allows the body to communicate and return to homeostasis. So that's why it's good for so many things, because it works on an individual level. Someone who needs help with tumors, or someone who's has autism issues or whatever. The plant can help with whatever it is by simply allowing the body to communicate what's wrong or what needs to happen. So daily CBDs or the fresh plant material, put some leaves in a green drink or whatever. The CBD oil is essential medicine for the body to be able to optimize health. And there are ways that you can take it so that there's a psychoactive effect if that's a problem for you. But it also helps with mood, and that is an important part of health, is to be uplifted, whether it's by plant medicines, entheogens, or movement or music or whatever it is. That we do really need to be doing those practices that lift us up all the time. So I'd recommend daily CBDs. The other thing that I would recommend is a detox, just practicing doing things that will support our body to detoxify, because we're bombarded by chemicals and toxins in food and water. And I've seen some people posting shots of the skies in places, and the chemtrails are just over the top, you know. So be doing things to support liver health, because liver's frontline on the defense, whether that, so like teas or fasts, intermittent fasts, colonics, enemas, dry brushing, infrared sauna, exercise, sweating, you know, whatever it is that can support the body to detoxify from really what is a toxic overload. And the other part of detoxification is from toxic, like the television. Don't even be watching it. Get it out of your house. It's really, really toxic. Even being around electronic devices weakens us. And it makes me wonder, you know, like as many benefits as there are from them, there are also a lot of factors that are very detrimental for us. So we need to make time to detox, I'm calling that, you know, so time away from electronic devices. And, you know, take that time every day. You know, when you want to go and hammer out a few things on social media, no, go outside, take that time to detoxify from all that electronic mess, and also from toxic people, toxic, you know, situations, toxic places, you know, cities, industrial areas, you know, really need to make time to get somewhere where it's in nature, peaceful, quiet, and that's what our bodies need. They crave that. They're longing for the contact and the reconnection with nature. So that's really what the best thing we can do right now is to be connecting with nature and then connecting with each other, because we have our heart fields, you know, we have this energy that's radiating from our heart, and when that meets with the radiations from another being with a loving heart, there's synergy happens. And you know, we've heard when two or more are gathered in my name, well, that's what that means. And that's how we become a force to be reckoned with, by joining our energy. And we just can get together to enjoy life, you know, to eat and sing and pray and meditate. And if that means going to a march, then go to a march, because that's really empowering. It's not only empowering for the people who go, but it's empowering for the people who watch, because faith in humanity gets restored when we see people taking action and getting up and taking a stand. It's really empowering to be with other like-minded people at least once a week, to be getting together with other people and just being human and celebrating life. Because the thing is, New Earth is already here. New Earth is already here. The frequency is already available, and all we need to do is receive, embody, and then be. The reason why there's so much of this evil clown show and distractions and the whole bullshit going on is to distract us from being the light beings that we are. It's just all a distraction, weapons of mass distraction everywhere. So when we ignore that shit show and focus on being the light beings that we are and joining together, we're invincible. We're invincible. No bioweapon stands a chance against any being who is aligned with natural law, with truth, with freedom, and with love. We're invincible, and we are. And what we're seeing now is really just the death throes of the old guard. It's the death of the old paradigm, the end of fear and control, like I said, and the beginning of love and freedom. And what's that say about us as beings, that we're here now for this job? You know, we've shown up, and we do need to fortify ourselves. We do need to be strong. And this isn't a trial. This is it. This is it for the freedom and future of humanity. So I think that's, community is immunity. I love that. I love that one, right? And the grassroots, the thing to know is grassroots movements are already underway. I mean, this is one, they're already happening. Already the resistance is well underway. And I'm really grateful to be able to be here now, as daunting and sometimes as terrifying and depressing as it is. But I know why I'm here.
Yeah, and that's
I know why I'm here.
Resilience can come from, right? When you can stand in the middle of the chaos with a very clear purpose. Not to say that everybody on this call has to know their exact purpose and mission, but just being very clear that you are in your own mind and body and soul, and you're not allowing these energies outside to completely mess with you. And there's something it's the way you described it. Actually, when I was listening to you, I was feeling that we're making this so much more complicated than it needs to be. If we actually strip away, everything you said was really about going back to what we used to do. It's not, I think what we're sort of getting a bit stuck because we're thinking, oh, we're going to have to change so much to go into this new earth, to kind of get on this higher timeline. But the way you describe it just reminds me, it's really just, it's just clearing out the distractions, as you said, the clutter, and everything you described today was really just, it was already stuff our ancestors knew. They already did it. This is not new. It's just that it's maybe new to us because the lifetime that we've had, we've just plugged into this bullshit of artificial constructs, right? But I love what you said. It's like you just open and receive. We don't have to go out into the sun and do anything specific. We make it complicated, don't we?
We do. The thing is about nature, about God, about the sun, is that they're always giving. So all we need to do is receive. They're always giving life force energy and codes and love and photonic light. It's always available. Like you say, all we need to do is go and receive it. And by becoming more light beings, that also raises the vibration of the earth too. It's a two-way thing, as above, so below, that we are raising the frequency of the earth as well as the earth raising our frequency. And in that way, all that was hidden in the dark, all that was hidden in the shadows, all the evil gets exposed. And we're seeing that happen now. That's how we know that this is an essential process. In addition to like the Schumann resonance going off the map and most people feeling it in their bodies, we can see just by looking out in the world that now evil is being exposed. There's the darkness is no longer. And simply by embodying more light, we are dismantling the old systems of control. We need to get rid of the government and the education systems and the legal system and the prison system and the religions. They're all just systems of mind control. And we don't, some people have callings to go out and take more action, of course, but we can simply raise our own frequency, and that will contribute to the new earth taking shape.
Yeah, that is so important. That's one of the messages I want to get across in this summit as well, is that yes, some people will have these missions of, like, I consider that my mission is very much, I feel like I want to go out into the world and be visible and have platforms and do all that, and we'll see where that goes, right? That's what feels cool to me. But it doesn't mean that everybody has to do like live streams and videos and protests. It's enough, isn't it, just for everybody to have to create the sovereignty within themselves. It's just everyone taking responsibility for themselves. Yeah. That's all we need to do. And that is, so people at home, might feel they're insignificant. Who are they to, you're not, you're here to, everything we do in our body, it ripples out, right?
Yeah.
To our street, our city, our town, wherever we are. It's so significant. And this is why they love to divide and, distract.
Yeah.
Because when we come together, we are there is nothing more powerful than that. Nothing.
Invincible.
Yes.
Yes.
I always feel like a fire lit in me when I hear you speak, because it plugs into exactly how I feel. So this feels good just to even connect in this way, because it's like you remind yourself you're not the only person seeing this stuff out there. We can be at home sometimes and feel like we're the only person in the world, in your town anyway, that thinks it. But you've got to connect with people, even like this, right? Even if we can't be in the room, we can still connect. We just did a visualization with Amanda, with opening our heart and connecting to everybody on the call, everybody on the replay. We can do those types of things. There is nothing that can stop that power. It's like nobody can come in and stop us from meditating. We are so powerful inside of us, and it's tapping into that, right? But through our bodies, through our health.
Yeah.
Stuff you've said, it's amazing.
Yeah. The other thing that I do want to say is to have no fear of death. To be living as fully as you can and have no fear of death, because there isn't any death. This is a continuum, and go for it. Just live really, really fully and be unafraid of death, because the fact is, even if you get taken out or whatever it is, you will have fulfilled what your soul mission here was. And that's really what the most important thing is about, that we're all living in our own integrity and our own sovereignty, in alignment with divine will, serving the greater good mission, and sharing knowledge with people who want to hear and who want to learn. And
brilliant. I love it, all of that.
Yeah.
What would you say, so there's a lot, you covered a lot. So if anybody has any questions,
I do.
Feel free to, anything on any of those subjects, where to start, what to do, feel free to ask questions. But I'd like to ask, actually, what would you say if, because all these, I wrote notes as well, some really great just stuff, you don't always think of. What would you say to somebody if maybe they haven't looked at any of these, like any of their health? Because health is often the thing you look at once you've lost it. So I went through a journey of debilitating illness. I was housebound through chronic fatigue, ME, fibromyalgia. So I went through this whole journey of really doing the inner stuff and connecting, and I'm still learning. But it's often people don't do that until they lose their health. So if we're sort of talking to people that maybe they've just had okay health, like not brilliant, but just nothing major, where would you suggest that they start? Because obviously there's a lot of things there, and it can maybe feel overwhelming. Where do you think where can people start? What would you say?
Well, I think that the important place to start is to understand that the importance of eating natural foods, the importance of eating fresh fruit and fresh vegetables. And I can get really deep with this. I'm not opposed to eating meat, but I know that if you eat factory farm meat, it is full of poisons. And not only that, the bloodshed that comes from the millions of animals that are slaughtered every day, that blood that's spilled on the ground, supports the satanic blood cult. So if you need to eat meat, please choose a source that isn't poisoned and that didn't cause any suffering. Because if we live in alignment with natural law, that means do no harm. And if we're eating animals that have been harmed, we're contributing to the suffering on the planet. We're perpetuating our enslavement, and we're really serving evil. So I'm probably going to get, slammed for that, but I don't care, because it's true. We poison our bodies and we poison the planet by eating any products from any animals that are suffering. So just choose cruelty-free, and then where I really go is eating a range of fresh fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds, like I said before, because it's important that we understand that the body will react defensively when we eat anything unnatural, and then that creates just a whole cavalcade of catastrophes, inflammation and cells reproducing, uncontrollably and stuff like that. So to understand how we are, we need to be living as close as possible to nature as our ancestors did, because none of the information that I'm sharing is new. It's all ancient wisdom, right? It's all old stuff.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, we are returning to our roots. You know, so that's where I'd start, just understanding how important a natural diet is, and then listening to the body, because the body, just like God's talking all the time. Listen for the signs. Our bodies talk to us all the time too, and through symptoms. So it's so ridiculous to have this Rockefeller medicine system that wipes away symptoms, when it's the symptoms that we need to be taking notice of, because that's what the body's telling us is out of balance. So be listening to the body, watching for signs, watching for symptoms, eat something, see how it feels, and just be noticing and paying attention, because every cell in the body is listening all the time and responding, and to be relating to the body as an intelligent being. I send my body love. I thank my body, you know. I talk to it all the time. I appreciate it all the time, because it is the best body in the world.
Yeah, I do.
It is the most, right?
I talk to my body. If you'd have spoken to me like 8-9 years ago, I'd have gone, what are you talking about? But it's going through that journey. And I always describe it as I used to be a lawyer for a few years back then. And so I was in this like head-based logic. Oh my God, my whole life was totally different to what it is now. And it cost me. So I was living in the head, didn't even check in, you know, like, did I need to go to the bathroom? Did I need water? Did I need food? I was like completely overrode the body. So fast forward through all that journey, it's like my best friend now. So I'm always talking to it, and it felt really weird at first, you know, but I think that's where it can be really powerful to just, have you ever asked your body, hi body, what do you want today?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point, Marie. Yeah, ask the body.
So much intelligence and wisdom, and then again,
yes,
we're trained and distracted into mind-based logic, right? We like cut ourselves off. We never get taught this stuff at school. Can you imagine if we'd be, I mean, this is what's going to happen, right? I think.
Right, exactly. This is new. The schools of the new earth will be teaching this, right?
Yeah, and we've got these children at the moment, Starseeds, higher consciousness, in these young children, and also ones coming into the planet, and they are going to be those ones in the future that have been educated properly, and they're going to help build and do all sorts of incredible stuff. So you know, we've all got that, we've got all that to come, but it's obvious, isn't it? It's obvious. It's just, we've got to consciously do it, because if we don't, no one else is going to do it for us.
Well, there's been so much effort put into dissociating us from our bodies, from God, from nature. You know, it's been a concerted effort from even before birth. Human beings are assaulted to keep us ignorant of our divinity, our strength, our power, our purpose. You know, we've been under attack, heavily under attack. It's actually extraordinary that we've all got this far. And that's testimony to the power of the humans, that we can, you know, grow drinking cow's milk, or, you know, we can eat that processed shit and not die straight away, you know, or drink that poisonous water and not end up dead. You know, it's really, we are actually extraordinary beings, really. And I don't even think we know any of it yet. I think that's what's one of the exciting things about what's to come, right? When we start having more of our DNA activated and higher consciousness and living as multidimensional beings, it's really exciting to think about what's maybe possible.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And this is, again, just to like recap what we looked at so far, it's choosing that higher timeline, plug into that. You know, if you keep looking at the old bullshit and the current scare stories, you're gonna be, even if you don't believe it and you're plugging into it through the TV, through media or whatever, you're still going to be impacted by it, because you're human. You're gonna soak that up, even if you don't believe it. So I just challenge anyone tuning in to see, you know, really unplug. I feel like I've fully unplugged now. I'll dip in just because my mission is here to kind of do certain things, and I like to keep an eye on what the hell is happening, but I don't plug into it on an emotional level now. And it's like, choose to go over here, you know, really, really like remember that we're going to this timeline. And as you just said, we haven't even touched the surface yet. We haven't even started living with any kind of power yet. And look what we've done so far on this planet. Yeah. Amazing. Right. Under the worst conditions. We've been poisoned, drugged, abused, deceived, completely all the things that, you know, you wouldn't want to treat your dog like that. And look, here we are, right?
Right.
We're so resilient. So if any time you think that you're weak and you're powerless, you've got to look again.
Yeah, look in the mirror.
Really look in the mirror. And remind yourself, even on your personal level. I know everybody on this call and watching the replay, if you go and fast rewind through your life and remind yourself of what you've been through, we've all been through different things, but I don't think anyone on this call or watching the replay would say, yeah, my life's been really easy.
Yeah, right.
Now I'm here. We've all gone through the most incredibly bullshit things. Hearts broken, health deteriorating, whatever our stories, right? And here we are. We're still here. We're still going strong. So we're so super strong. So it's tapping into that resilience, right? Yeah, as you said.
Yeah.
Major resilience.
And it's the connection with nature and with God that gives us that resilience and that just strength to keep on going when they get tough. And they are likely to get tough. There's no point just pretending here that, you know, it's all fairy dust and sparkles, because what's happening is being in plan for a long time. You know, there's a lot of effort being going into bringing humanity to its knees to become bio-robots. There's a lot of force behind that. So we do have to be, like I said at the start, as strong and as powerful as we can be going forward. Because it may be a long battle. They're not just going to roll over. They got a lot invested in this. I don't know, you know, all I know is this is an ascension process, and if we look at the astrology and all the predictions, we liberate ourselves. I just don't know how we get from here to there, but we're on an ascension timeline. We are. You said that. We're claiming that, and so we are.
Yeah.
Also, just wanted to add about you were saying about not being affected by what's going on in the world. Well, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be alive. We wouldn't have the open hearts that we do, and not be affected. The thing is to not be held down by that. And so I know when I feel angry, I take the opportunity to go and express that anger in ways that don't do any harm to anyone else. I'll go in the car, roll up the windows, and just let it out. Say whatever the fuck I want, right? As loud as I can. If I'm sad or just feeling grief, because all the reasons to feel grief, take a towel, just go and lie on the floor and cry and scream into that until I'm spent, you know, snotty, whatever. Just let the emotions flow, because that's, you know, energy and motion. Just let them move. Cry if you need to. All crying's healing. Just let the tears flow. You can yell into a hole. You can punch a punching bag. You can smash up a cardboard box with a baseball bat. You can write it all out, just uncensored. Right. Then go and burn it. You know, we have to move these emotions so that we can stay on the higher timeline. Otherwise, we're just going to get dragged down by it. We can't do the whole spiritual bypass thing. You know, it's not going to be like praying and meditating your way out of this. You have to feel it and you have to move it, you know.
Totally right. You've just given me an idea, actually. I might do a little thing now, because talking about timelines, our times have all gone a bit funny tonight. So we've got Lisa coming on at 9:30. So I think what I'll do now, off the back of what you've just said, is show you a quick process. For anyone that, you know, that's hard, right? Sometimes we're like, well, how do we let ourselves feel stuff? That can be quite difficult, especially we're so used to repressing, bypassing, pretending that all is well and all of that. And that is, I've got such a passion around that subject, actually, around not doing that, because it's so, we have some teachings out there right now that are plugging into the higher timeline, but they're saying to you, you've got to keep focused on there and not feel anything. And that's bullshit. You're going to feel stuff. I can have a really strong week and then something might come in and trigger me. you know, like it's going, I care, so do you, so does everyone on this call, right? So yeah, that's just given me that little idea, so I'll do that in a minute. But thank you so much for all of that wisdom, because again, you could have gone all afternoon, all evening, right, on this topic. It's such a big topic.
Yeah.
Just covered some really great pieces there for people to really think about, and just start thinking about back to basics. Where in your life do you need to base, like sunlight, daylight, even daylight, get outside.
Go outside, receive.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Marie. Really, thank you. Thank you for shining your light so brightly. And thank you to everybody who is listening and will listen. Thank you for showing up and doing your best to be the best human being that you can be and shining light, because it is making a difference. We are winning, and love always wins. So I'm sending you all my love, aloha, and some ocean breezes and warm water, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the summit. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, thanks, Marie.
Okay. All right, that was brilliant. So she always lights a fire in me when I hear her speak.